welcome back to Recorder on the Wall, totally not delayed Halloween episodes. I'm Pete.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Katie.
Boo! I'm Matthias.
And this year, I don't think anyone can scare us. Sorry. But yes,
Boo,
we're covering...
I'm 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
We're covering the last part of Castways of the Flying Dutchman, The Angel's Command, where our brave, intrepid heroes have to face Rita I'm sorry.
Vigo!
Maguda.
Maguda Oblongata.
Oh my god.
Wow.
But yes, and they're trying to rescue the totally not dead nephew of the authority that sent them here.
I wonder if they'll be able to bear the weight of that task.
Oh no.
Boo on you, sir.
I mean, I can't growl about that pun.
Oh no. I've changed from oh dear to oh no. Same sentiment.
Right, so ding ding. So
I just have to ask, what was that ding for?
dang.
He had good claws.
Yes.
One of these episodes, I'm just gonna lose it. Close the call and let Jeremy take over.
That's my new goal.
We're in the end
game now.
So when we left off, Ben, Ned, and their two buddies, Dominic and what's her name?
Kare.
Thank you. And we're basically assigned, hey, go find my nephew, please.
Go to this den of thieves. I'm not providing you with any weapons or ability to defend yourselves. You're a bunch of kids and a dog, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. Yeah, this is a plan.
And meanwhile, they run into a group of young teenage wizards who really should have talked to the adults in their life.
Now, come to think of it, three kids and a dog sounds like a children's novel.
Honestly, they just needed one more girl, and they would have been the Scooby Gang.
Nice.
Oh,
Ben's like, looks like we got a mystery to solve, gang.
Like, I don't know about this man.
Zoinks! It's old man Vanderdecken here to haunt me again.
Roll.
Let's see who he really is. Oh, it's Vanderdecken.
Oh man.
Probably put your face back on. Sorry.
It's a real ghost.
Unfortunately, Vanderdecken, despite the fact that his spooky image showed up in the first two sections that we covered, it's not really a thing here.
Yeah, he pops up as a hallucination at one point, and that's about it.
I honestly was hoping that when I was first reading those first two sections that, this would be like a constant specter, like, they, Ben and Ned are going to have to be careful what they do. They don't want to be caught by their former enemy. And no, that's not really a thing. But, I mean, you could make a convincing argument that because they're not near water.
Yeah.
He's lazy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to go on land.
Well, he was cursed to sail his ship for all eternity. So unless you make some sort of a ship that can sail both on land and on water, well, I gotta wait till the road crew for that.
Are you talking about the world's greatest and largest land ship?
Yes, sure.
So
actually, I had the
Titanic.
Hindenburg in mind.
I
had the Hindenburg in mind.
Oh.
And there's Vanderdecken like, hey, that's not fair. So when we left off, the Razin are somehow the Razin are partially aware that these kids are out there. They know the kids were expelled from town for being ne'er-do-wells. Yeah. And that Maguda herself knows they're coming because, evil.
Evil.
So they're like, oh, hey guys, they brought out their own dog. Let's run in the dark on a mountain with ice.
I see this going well. So Ben immediately, chapter 21 starts off with Ben knew he had picked the wrong direction.
Well,
They're out on a ledge.
Yeah, they basically are like, hey, we're getting chased. Let's go this way. Whoop! I slipped on the ice, and hey, everyone, they catch Ben from falling off.
Yeah.
Yep, let's make camp on this narrow ledge. Sure, we'll have to sleep standing up, and we can't build a fire, but at least we're exposed to the elements. Wait, I'm wrong.
Yeah, we also don't know like the limits of Ben and Ned's respective immortality. Like, what would happen if they were violently attacked or slipped off a cliff edge? We don't know.
I'm like picturing like the horror version where it's like Ben slowly gets up and his bones kind of pop back into place and everything.
Yeah.
And
I'm okay.
that. I'm okay. My head's hanging in the wrong angle. Hang on. Oh, there we go.
Gross.
I was thinking something a little bit more family friendly with the mountain climber game from The Price is Right, where someone goes too far and it just drops off the edge and that's it. Exactly.
But yeah,
it plays that song. You hear.
But effectively, yes. Two of the resin have found them, and who are these guys? Let's see what these guys were.
Damba and Rouge.
Yeah, they don't last very long, and they also have a Great Dane.
My exact notes were, I hope one of the villains falls off this ledge. 2 lines later, hey, wish granted. Bye, Damba. Bye, Doggy. Bye, Rouge.
Well, it's not so clean as that because it's first Rouge and falls off because he how did the kids do this? They used didn't they use a rope?
Yeah,
they climb away.
Ben tore their 3 cloaks into 6 pieces, tied them together, made a makeshift rope. They make it across this wide gap using the rope, and then just as they get to the other side, all 4 of them are safe. That's when our 2 villains start to round the corner.
Oh, hey, it's the kids. Let's use the rope they did. What's that tearing noise?
Yeah. Damba's the first to go.
First.
He grabs onto Dominic, and they swing around a little bit, and then Damba's head cracks against the mountain, and is his exact words.
Yeah, he falls, and I'm sure he's totally fine. In the words of Disney's The George of the Jungle, no one dies in this. They just get really big boo-boos.
I'm sure he
but
did.
while this is going on, Ned himself, the dog, is offering up his own prayer to the angel, like, "I'll be the best boy ever. Just save us."
I love that.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Angel, I'm gonna have to break my promise."
Yeah. I also liked his line. I think there must be a touch of mountain goat in my family.
But we find out Ned goes full on angry dog, and we're not told the exact language of what he's saying to this other dog, but
I like this part.
He says, "Dear Angel, remember those promises I made to you? Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to break them a bit, but it's all for a good cause to save my friends' lives, so forgive me."
Yeah.
And yeah, he barks something at the other dog, who quickly turns rabid and drags the other guy off the cliff with him.
And I like Ned's explanation. Dominic's like, what the heck just happened? And Ned's like, I made some nasty remarks about his parents, his mother the donkey and his father the pig. Then I challenged him to a fight, but I said that he could never jump this far, like I had. And Ben's like, but we swung you on the rope from the ledge to here. Aye, but he hadn't arrived to see that part. He didn't know that.
It's not a Dane, it's a Mastiff, but was a Mastiff.
In my head canon,
now it's just a mass of stuff.
This is my headcanon because I don't care if they're evil demon hounds. I don't like when puppies die. So the guy fell first and the dog fell on top of him and he's totally fine. He ran away and he lived happily ever after. That is my headcanon. I am not changing it.
Headcanon accepted. So ordered.
Yep.
I like mine. He's no longer a mastiff. He's a massive stuff.
Nope.
No, we're going with Casey's
No.
version.
Yeah.
But I still find it incredible that Ben was able to make such a far leap on his own. And it's just like, if it was a video game, he would have had to have made that jump pixel perfect. Like, 1 pixel on the ledge. But it's like, somehow he's still standing there. He's fine.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Okay,
Ben,
we'll do.
Ben is a master at speed running ice climbers.
Katie, we'll do the Assassin's Creed version. The bad guys fell into the rocks. The dog fell into hay bales, and he's safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, convenient pile of hay bales. Why are
Yes.
those there? I don't know. Reasons.
Yes, I do have major issues. No matter how scary and evil and demonic the dog is, I do not like it when dogs die in books. I didn't used to be like this. Then I lost my first service dog, and I don't know what happened, but I'm just like, I cannot read a book or watch a movie unless I know the dog doesn't die. Otherwise, nope. Backing
So
out.
noted.
Yep.
Well, meanwhile, Ben and his friends run into a goat herder who lives on the mountain and has nothing to
She's
do
so great. I love her
nothing
so
to
much.
do with the resin. Neat.
Yep. Meet Arnella. After Ben and Ned, she's the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
love
pretty
her.
much.
I get it.
Yeah. I knew Jeremy would get it.
Can I give it back now?
Yes.
Well,
Greatest of
maybe
all
you should
time.
explain for the audience who may not get it. Like, I mean, I totally get it, but I don't know what you're
Goat. GOAT. Greatest of all time.
Okay, dang.
That reminded me so much of Bad Red. Like, well, I totally understand the plan, but maybe you should explain it to these other people.
Yeah.
He's swinging around his broken scimitar like, I get it!
Except I didn't say it in a whiny puberty voice.
No, you
This is
didn't.
true.
I mean, I get it, but why do you explain it for everyone else who doesn't get it?
But yes, they meet this very lovely goat herder who dries them off, gives them food.
And then tells us her entire backstory.
Yes, which is
Never
awesome.
comes into play ever again, but okay.
It's an
I have
awesome
a problem with
backstory
the pacing of this
regardless.
section of the book, by the way. We spend 3 pages on her, and which I like her as a character. I think she's cool, but later on we have so many rushed moments, and then they waste time, and then there's wasted time with other things. So it's like, couldn't we have spent more time focusing on the villains and what Baguda's actual plan is outside of
Which
I
we
don't
still
know. Ambiguous evil things? I mean,
See, this is an awesome female character with a really cool backstory. So I would be very hypocritical if I complained about that.
No, I mean, I'm no complaints here. I like the
love
character.
it.
She's also apparently vegetarian, so
Yes, but she's like this perfect mix of super, super tough and super, super gentle. Like she can pick up and cuddle a goat, and she can also bash your brains out if she's mad at you.
Yep.
at one
And
point,
she's literally describes herself as being, like giant compared to everybody else. I mean, she's big.
Mhm.
So the question arrives, in my mind, is Arnella a human Constance, or is Constance a badger Arnella?
I flat out said she comes off as a beast, as in tough as nails and strong. I bet she'd be a badger in a Redwall book.
Yep.
But I do like when Dominic does his little sketch of her, that for how tough she is, he also captures her gentleness in his picture.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice.
and
She feeds them, and it's, of course, being a Brian Jakes book, the food sounds
Food.
delicious.
Oh, yes.
Well, yeah.
I mean, when I was reading this, it was literally right after breakfast, and I had made eggs with brie cheese, so I was okay.
Ooh, nice.
Goat's brie, actually. So topical. Aldi's was selling it. I don't know but okay. But yes, she's as mentioned, she's vegetarian because Correa, the girl.
Nice lady!
They basically ask, "Hey, are you gonna make us goat stew?" No, you get vegetarian food.
What does she use the goats for anyway? Like what she?
They're her
They're
children.
her children.
That's what
All
she
right.
says.
I don't know. It's like she doesn't really do anything with the goats. Like she doesn't sell the goat cheese or goat milk, from what we understand. She's
By
just like,
herself?
I have some. She Instead of the crazy cat lady, she's the crazy goat lady.
Right. I approve.
And of
Now
course,
I wish there would have been a scene where she attacks the Razin by throwing the goats at them.
no, she would never do that. She's the goat's mother. That's why they call her Ma.
No.
That was bad.
Dang!
And it's
Something bad
I'll
is
stop
happening. Raz.
From this point on, it's Jeremy's fault.
Done?
Oh, you cannot resist the sheer power of my puns.
Are you done?
I don't know, am I?
Hey, you're done.
I mean, you can't kick him from the call, right?
I could boot him from the call.
Final
One of these days.
Chrono Trigger.
So, that being said, yeah, she tells her backstory, where she was basically an outsider anyway.
Which is really
And,
sad. Because
Yeah, at one
it's,
point she was basically a tavern waitress. I'm not going to use a derogatory term.
yeah.
And yeah, apparently the mayor's brother, who basically makes a pass at her, and she tells him no, and he trips her for it, and everything went everywhere. So the owner of the tavern tried to beat her, and she beat him, and beat the mayor's brother for being a lech. I like this girl.
Yep. It's super sad though, because if someone looks different than what you think, like, you know, she's a big, strong woman. So people are like, oh, that's not what women are supposed to look like. And so they make fun of her. It's like, people are terrible sometimes.
Also, remember the time period that this takes place in.
Oh
so-
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's still some of that today though. Not as prevalent,
I'm
but-
not denying that.
Oh, she also
But
mentions
there's the
like
famous thing: you can't fix stupid.
No, definitely
she
not.
also mentions that the Razin know she's here, but really don't care. That at least their men don't care, because they already know she's a fugitive from the law anyway. But some of the Razin women try to intimidate her, and yeah, she beat them.
Yep.
And then beat them.
Fist flew, blood flew. They slunk away.
They try
I
to
mean-
steal her goats, and yeah, she'll beat them up.
I mean, she says quite well. They knew I was a fugitive from the law. Their menfolk didn't bother me, but several of the Razan women tried to intimidate me. Ha! I sent them on their way nursing bruises and broken limbs, I can tell you.
We're
It's like-
gonna go intimidate this giant that towers over us. I see no problem with this plan.
That is so fetch.
My
Gretchen.
arm.
Yeah. Why can't I feel my everything?
No, they can only feel their everything because it hurts so much.
Huh, my arm's not supposed to bend that way.
She also
What's
mentioned
that
seeing.
bruise purple?
They also mentioned that she knows. Oh yeah, Adamo, the guy you're looking for. Yeah, he's a nice guy, but apparently, he grew up with the Razin, but totally doesn't like their character. Oh hi, Tag. Where did you walk in?
So we've got Bluefin and we've got Tag.
Wait a minute, didn't I make a Sonny Wrath joke in the last section?
I think you did.
Yeah, because there was
Yeah.
the guy Rawth. So, oh
Raw.
my god. Yes.
Oh, and I mean, Tag Run came out in 2001. This came out in 2003.
I'm just laughing because
Coincidence?
I'd made that joke not realizing that this was the plot. Because I forgot most of this
Coincidence?
section of the book.
Yeah. Coincidence? I think not.
You can take the author out of the red wall.
True.
Actually,
True.
wait a minute. There's another similarity to Tagarong when we get there. Maguda and what was the old seer in Tagarong?
Bad.
They have
Grisel?
similar ends, don't they?
Kind of.
Sort
I
of.
don't know. I mean, not really.
Yeah. I saw something bad.
Okay, yeah, your audio just went out there, Jeremy.
You faded. Are you okay? Oh no.
I'm fine.
Okay,
I
so
moved
yeah, they're like,
I think I moved my head away from the mic when I did
Oh,
that.
okay.
So.
ah,
I did.
So-
I don't know if I'm doing stuff for an audio podcast, but I like kind of knocked my head to the side, like, bleh, I'm dead.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, so Adamo was just like, I don't like it here. I want to leave. I don't like what you do to people. Shut up.
Not my real mom.
Now I'm your grandma. What's the problem with that?
Yep. And the Razan proceed to get worse and worse in my eyes. I mean, Brian has written cannibals that didn't affect me as deeply as the Razan do. They are the Horde of villains.
So yeah, apparently he tried to run away, and they sent their mastiff out after him, and Adamo probably is not there, but I don't know. She just generally doesn't know.
I don't think that Mastiff will be chasing after him anymore.
Well,
No.
yes.
He found a better life, and he has an owner that loves him and cuddles him and named him George.
George.
Headcanon accepted.
George the Mastiff, friend to you
No,
and me.
No, none of that.
Watch out for that tree.
Watch out for that mountain ledge.
So,
Oh, no.
so now it's just like, well, you can, stock up on food here. Then yeah, go ahead and
Continue
go
on your
have fun
perilous
storming the
journey.
castle.
Yeah, exactly.
Have fun storming the castle, kids.
Goat looks up at her, think they'll make it.
Nah, not a chance.
I'd say their chances are bad.
Hey, you've used that one before.
Hey, there's only so many goat puns you can make.
Then maybe you should stop
Yes.
making them.
I was going to say, at which point you stop making them.
Well, on a different note, Arnella has very interesting names for her goats,
I noticed.
including Ajax the Less, Theseus, and Narcissus, who she is like, Narcissus, stop looking at yourself in the pool. And it's like, good on Brian for including some Greek mythology just to keep us on our toes.
Yep.
Clovis and Pantero? I don't know.
Pantero, I believe.
Pantera? The rock band?
Sure.
Wait, isn't that Terraria boss? No, wait, no, that's Plantera. Okay.
Still going to be better than the recent Blood of Zeus Netflix series. Yeah, I watched it. It's by the same real quick. It's by the same production house as Castlevania, except that it's bad.
Definitely won't be watching that.
Well, Castlevania is great, but
I didn't like Castlevania.
You're dead to me.
It was lame and the animation was garbage. Anyway, moving on to chapter 22 with they find out Cut Purse and a weaselly-looking older fellow, Abret, as he's described. I'm assuming he would have been a weasel in the Redwall series.
Yeah, I think we're back in Redwall because they're literally named Cut Purse. And,
Yeah, my reaction to Cut Purse whining was, man, with that attitude and injured angle, it sounds to me like Cut Purse should call the Wambulance.
Why do all henchmen have to be idiots? Just asking.
Every single henchman in this book is a moron. Every single one dies by falling off the cliff in the stupidest way.
well, not all of them.
Well, or the cliff falls on them. Like every henchman in this book is an idiot.
But yeah, they quickly find our heroes. And here, let me take out this musket and make a very loud sound in the icy mountains.
Good plan.
I don't know why I'm yelling this loudly.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, they only find our heroes because they're hiding, and they're like, "Oh, good, they're gone." But we should be very quiet, be very careful. Corey, why are you running outside and screaming and tripping and yelling? Good job.
Yep.
This is
Oh,
the
hey,
first
the
of 2
kids.
times that Corey screws them over during this section of the book.
I hear that. The kids, let me fire a warning shot. What's that rumbling noise?
Fire a warning shot across their nose. Oh god, yeah. This chapter is just like dumb for a while. Oh my gosh. And so yeah.
Yep, they cause an avalanche, and unfortunately, like I said, there's no Mystery Science Theater 3000 robots to make fun of it.
And so by cut person Abret, you're dumb and dead.
I'm okay. We just got swept off and found our doggy.
No,
We're
they're
gonna
dead.
go now.
Nobody needs them to live. And now the kids are all stuck in an icy tomb. Yay! Oh no, wait, they're fine. They make it out. I'm sure everything will be just and they're captured.
Yep. And here's the funny thing. This gives me such strong meta-male vibes. Because not only do they escape a deadly cave-in. What is it with Brian and trapping his characters in cave-ins or situations where they could potentially run out of air? And then when they escape, finding the bad guys right there waiting for them. I don't get it.
Dramatic
Yes, they're
tension.
Hey guys, let's capture these 3 people. What about that dog? Oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Bad plan.
Yeah, the dog runs off. They're like, what dog? She totally never told us to bring a dog. Oh, we're going to die.
It'll be fine. And it's like, I mean, it's not like the dog's gonna go get help and come back.
No, that'll never happen. Yeah, and I like the fact that so this is more of the henchmen being kind of stupid, where they know who these kids are. They know exactly that they're the ones that they're supposed to capture. Why don't they just capture them rather than try to interrogate them? Because they're like, well, what are you doing this high up in our mountains? Like, why do you care? Just take them in, you idiot.
Formalities?
I don't know. There's just like everybody is passing the idiot ball around during these last 2 chapters, where it's just like, oh, let's scream, or this chapter, let's shout to alert the enemy. Oh, look, the enemy just pulled out a gun and caused their own dumb deaths, killed their own dumb selves. Now the villains show up and are like, instead of taking them in like we're supposed to and also letting the dog get away, let's question them for a little bit. Then Corey grabs the idiot ball and after Ligren threatens to cut off Ben's nose, and she goes, go on, cut my nose off, you coward. I'm not armed like you. Why are you provoking him? These people are crazy murderers and thieves, and you're provoking him to cut part of your face off.
Oh, she also insults not only Lee Grant, who's the brother of Maguda, but all her brothers are as ugly as you. I feel sorry for her.
Yeah, like, oh my god, like, it's like, do you want him to get, how she makes it through the rest of this book without getting, like, her head stabbed, I don't understand.
Well, the Redwall characters do this all the time, too.
Yeah, they insult the bad guys, so.
Yeah, but still, oh my god, I don't know, this is just, I mean, it's kind of dumb there, too. But, like, there's at least some examples in the Redwall books of them doing it, but, like Matamayo threatens to kill Slagar, but Slagar's like, well, I need you as part of my group, as part of my slave group, so I'm not going to kill you. And, like, there's some reasons, like, I know Ligren has to take her in, but he doesn't have to kill her. He could maim her, and it would still be the exact same thing.
Now,
Maguda never said how many pieces they have to arrive in.
She's a teenager. They're kind of dumb. What do you want from them?
I know, but my god.
Meanwhile, they put the resin, found their bear, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna lock him in a room. He'll be fine. I'm sure he won't come up later.
And then we get.
Oh, and Maguda's like, oh, well, I know they're coming back, but oh yeah, and one of her assistants like, well, the dog's not with them. They're giving me, and here comes my Rita Repulsa interpretation. They're giving me such a headache.
I thought she was channeling Asmodeus because it said Maguda hissed like an angry snake, and she just goes, "Stupid men."
Hey, boss, we just got a summons from the villain court. Yeah, that's been done. Sorry.
Magic wand to make my mastiff grow.
So
then we get, I'm sorry, more idiot ball passing around here because they're now talking out loud about like what could happen to Ned and maybe they could escape while they're like the villains are just escorting them and can hear every word they're saying. And who keep yelling at them to shut up.
I mean, I can hear you.
This is like that scene in Pineapple Express where the two of them are like, okay, if one cough means I go, two cough means you go, like they're planning. And then the guy walks, he's like, look, we can hear you, okay? I get it. Shut up. Oh.
Oh, so yes, they're brought into. It's like, yeah, we can hear you guys, and they're brought into the resin hideout. And oh, hi, Maguda. And of course, the resin who have been here in the mountains for quite a few generations would surely, take these caves they've inhabited and actually make something of them. Clearly, you've got the time and people, but no, it's just cave.
Well, it wouldn't be an evil lair if it was well furnished.
I suppose, but it still feels a little bit too much like the Forsworn from Skyrim.
I mean, if you
Oh,
can,
yeah.
Jeremy, I'm going to disagree with you because in the James Bond School of Villainy, you do have a well-furnished lair and a chair you can swivel in with your cat on your lap.
I actually just thought of like Maguda turning around when they arrive. She goes, "Welcome to my underground lair."
So yes. Oh, and yeah, they're thrown into the lair of Maguda, and yeah, this is actually kind of like intimidating how it's described. Just like that, there's thick clouds of noxious smoke snaking upwards, and there's bas reliefs carved into the walls of strange monsters and forgotten deities, frightening to look upon, like Cthulhu.
Great, they wandered into a hippie camp.
Oh, and it's like, so yeah, this is basically, Arkham, what do you call it? What's his name? H.P. Lovecraft verse.
Yep.
It's basically what
Cthulhu Razan.
Yeah. And, oh yeah, so I found these, and at first Magoda takes the effect that she doesn't have the dog well, calling her brother a fool, and she's like, Lagan's like, hey, I lost 4 people just to capture these people.
Amazingly, after they died, the average intelligence of our group went upwards. I don't know how that happened.
Maybe you should stop playing hot potato with the idiot ball.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, it's just an ordinary dog. It's not going to come with backup. Come on.
Oh. And
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. Chekhov's dog.
And
we then
yeah,
get Maguda
challenges...
wanting to get into a staring contest with everybody.
Well, she gets into a staring contest with her brother, and she's like, "You're a fool. Say it." It's like, "I'm a fool."
Duh, I'm a fool.
Count yourself lucky. You are my brother. Return to thy cave. Yeah, I'll show you lucky.
What was that?
I mean, I'm taking some time off.
Talking to Razan HR.
We didn't get into Maguda's probably more than we ever really wanted to know about her, because she's like, you sing well. I will dress you up like a bird and have you sing in a cage. That's creepy and weird. Thanks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And it's like, at the moment, you think it's like, okay, it's just a really weird, awkward threat. Later on, we find out I'm pretty sure she was serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, face maker kid. Yeah, stare into my eyes. He's like, what? What? You want to fight? Oh, you can't have any power over me, crazy person.
This whole stare down is like that South Park episode where Cartman and the psychics are like, doing like their fake psychic attacks on each other.
I can just imagine Dominic just kind of crosses his arms, is like, what? Okay, try it. Yeah, try to hypnotize me.
I thought you were going to say he crosses his eyes.
No.
I can see it now. Dominic's just looking at her, looking just like, what? Why are you staring at me? What are you looking at? Nothing.
No, I actually mean that. Nothing.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. Death and decay are all I see in your soul, old one. You can't hypnotize me. I rolled a nat 20. Crap.
Yeah. And then after she's done with that, Ben joins the long line of Brian Jake's heroes who suffer massive head trauma.
I'm okay.
Yep.
I'm immortal.
Yeah, it's okay. He suffered absolutely no Dane damage whatsoever.
He's fine.
And Ben does try to connect with Ned, but apparently he gets bad reception in the caves. He's got to update his mobile plan with the angel.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
I'm losing your transmission. And
Sorry,
so-
I'm going into a tunnel. I'm breaking up.
Oh, and Magooda tells her assistant, "Yeah, go poison these kids with this potion. I'm sure it'll be grand fun." What'd you use to make this? I don't know, some kind of mushroom.
I don't know. I found it under the bed. Like I said, a bunch of hippies down here. And oh my god, yeah, it's like I want you to throw a potion in their food. But master, surely they won't be stupid enough to eat food just given to them. I'm sure at least one of them will be stupid enough to do that. And yeah, so Ned doing his best Lassie impression. Ned, did Ben fall down a well? Shakes head. Did Ben get captured by the Razin? Nods head. We better go help him. And then Ned
Yeah,
is contacting him, gets a boo-doo-doo. We're sorry. The cabin boy's brain you're attempting to contact cannot be reached. Please try again or leave a message.
mailbox is full.
Darn it! Why haven't you deleted those old messages from the angel?
If you would like to check the answering machine, press 1. Press 1. Ned, Ben, you must go to the ship in the harbor. Nope, that's old. Okay. Do not take the treasure. No, I know that one. Click.
Anyway, yeah, as we said, Ned goes to Arnell and it's like, and he, well, not giving the game away about his, the fact that he's sentient and, has some form of communication, basically says he can basically nods and shakes his head.
Yep.
And okay, and as Matthias pointed out, Ben's down the well. Go help.
And so the next chapter is they wake up in the cell, and like I said, at least one of them has to be dumb enough, and then they all follow, which is like, hey, look, there's free food. And Ben's like, that's probably a bad idea if we eat that. And then Corey's like, no, there couldn't
I'm
be
hungry.
anything wrong with it. Why would the evil people give us poison food? And I like Dominic's plan of, well, let's just let her eat some, and if she doesn't scream and keel over, it should be all right.
Yeah.
Hey!
They should have stuck with that plan, because then, in like 10 minutes later, she would have been on the ground drooling and hallucinating. The two of them would have been like, yeah, it's a good thing we didn't eat that food.
Yep.
But,
I mean,
so,
gut choices tend to be correct in life or death scenarios. I mean, that food is definitely no bueno, but well, don't listen to me. I'm just the person reading the book. I'm not actually a character.
I was gonna say, but also, I don't think any of us have been super, super starving and desperate to eat something. And when it comes, it's like, I really don't care if this is poison. It smells amazing, and I'm so hungry.
Point.
yeah, but Ben was at least saying, like, we shouldn't eat that. And then when the Corey starts eating it, the other two are like, well, we're lemmings. Let's follow her off the cliff.
Peer pressure, peer pressure.
Yeah, pretty much. And then
No, you
congratulations, you're all drugged.
Oh,
yeah,
and
I don't usually get scared by what I read,
Mhm.
but this chapter gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I
Oh,
kind of
yeah, we
skimmed the
see
spider part.
we see each character's greatest fear. And for Corey, it's spiders.
Yeah.
And Dominic has a thing for snakes, apparently.
My note was literally just insert someone referencing the Indiana Jones snake line here.
I was very tempted, but I thought it was too low-hanging fruit.
I appreciate that.
Spiders.
then-
Why did it have to be spiders?
Meanwhile, Matthias grabbed that low-hanging fruit and ripped the whole branch off.
Well, since the bell's been rung, then, and Ben's just like, Vanderdecken. Why did it have to be Vanderdecken?
Oh.
I hate Vanderdecken.
Mine was Vanderdecken's going, found you! Now I'll try hiding and you find me!
Oh
Hey,
dear.
kid, can you talk to the angel for me? Please?
And we find out, yeah, so apparently Magooda's secret weapon is LSD.
Yeah.
Or salamander strain.
There
Pretty
we
much.
go.
It's the bad batch, though.
People, this isn't very good.
It's the bad batch. It's the
I see
Krega batch.
Vanderdecken. And so Ned, meanwhile, is unable to connect with Ben at the moment, and is like essentially going like, "Yo, Angel, Tell me what to do. Come on. I don't know why I pictured him doing that in New York accent, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know. It's just the first thing that popped up in my head.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Hey, I'm walking here.
I'm a dog.
Oh, and Ned finally gets one bar and makes a connection. And he gets flooded by the hallucinations of Vanderdecken, because this isn't this isn't even the real Vanderdecken. So,
and so then the angel is like, "Stay off drugs."
God, what are you guys getting into? Come on. And
Ned's like, I leave for 5 minutes, and you guys all become druggies. Great.
And the power of Vanderdecken's image is so powerful that Ned, for a brief minute, goes rabid. And Arnella's like, she's like, well, I'm not gonna help you.
I love that. She just like drops him on the floor. Like she's trying to comfort him, and then he starts biting at her, and she's like, "All right, forget you," and just throws him on the ground.
Bad dog. No biscuit.
It's like, I'm sorry, it was the ghost, but you can't hear that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so Ned's plan is happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. And where he's like, come on, man, it's your old pal. Remember when you sat on an anthill and I never knew you were such a good dancer, jumping and leaping and smacking your own behind? What a sight. Come on now, admit it, Ben. You didn't sit down for a week after that.
Is this supposed to be good thoughts?
Yeah. Well, apparently it was good for Ned, but or where he's like, think of other things, like me chasing that snobbish lady. I like how all the things that he's sending Ben are things that make him happy and not Ben.
Well, yeah. I mean, dogs are kind of self-centered. They hang out with us because we feed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, cats even more so. They domesticated themselves so that humans would be their servants.
Right.
What's the old saying? In Egypt, treated cats like gods. Cats have never forgotten this. But yeah, he's Ben, and Ned's getting more and more bars, and he's sending him a stronger and stronger signal of mostly happy thoughts.
Yep. And we find out, like, I was just thinking of that scene in Red versus Blue. They weren't sleeping. They were on drugs. I wasn't doing drugs. I was drugged, chasing the dragon. Look, I am not on drugs. Now, where's my talking dog that I have a psychic connection with?
So yeah, they bring Ben into Maguda, and he's just like, give me a second. Coming down.
You know, Maguda is the villain half the vermin seers that we see in Redwall wish they could be. I mean, she's legitimately a threat. I mean, the only other character that's even close to her caliber is Emperor Ublaz, and he has to kind of do like this little sing-songy back head and forth chant thing in order to make his powers work. She just stares at people and, you know.
Well, Ublaz, I think, just stared at the other vermin. The only thing he did his chant for was the snake.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
More or less.
Mm.
And,
Yeah,
Maguda's like, well, bind him on the hands, sit him on the floor, and I'm going to hypnotize him now. And Ben truthfully is like, I don't mean you any harm. Yeah. Why do you care about me? Well, I know you're here to get my grandson back, and he's dead to me, sort of. Ignore
so he's
that.
dead?
Ignore those bear sounds in the corner.
Ignore me. I did like the line where Ben looked at her and said, it was merely like staring at an unpleasant old hag.
So yeah, if you want me to grant your freedom to you and your friends, but to do that, you have to have a staring contest with me.
Yep.
That's it?
Look into my eyes. I will look into yours. Ooh, piece of candy.
I mean, you want to have a staring contest? Okay. That's all we have to do?
Your funeral.
Yeah, and this is where I was I'm reading this one for the first time for this show, and I thought Maguda would have some sort of divine-inspired death, but not one this quick. Basically, she has this staring contest with Ben because that's her whole thing. She looks at you into the eyes, and you are under her power, and basically, she's looking for Vanderdecken in his brain, and Ben, meanwhile, is still getting Ned's signal of good images.
So
While this is going on,
and she sees the good stuff at first. She's like, "What the heck is all this?"
I'm a teenage boy. You're lucky I'm not. Your hormones aren't affecting me right now, lady.
She just blushes and be like, "Why are you thinking of that?" He's like, "Well, I'm permanently 14. What else would I be thinking of?"
I mean, come on, kid. No, you can't. But
And
yeah,
so then he forces her to see like all the stuff with Vanderdecken, and now she's getting high off of it. But
and there's Vanderdecken looking up like, huh? Oh, hello.
who's the old
welcome,
lady?
welcome to Flying Dutchman. How can I damn your cell to hellfire?
Actually, no, I would have loved like just a goofy moment of like Vanderdecken and her like stare each other down, like, "I am Vanderdecken, the ghost of doom." And she's like, "I am Maguda, I see into people's souls." And they keep challenging each other, and then they just start making out.
Oh dear.
And Ben's sitting there
No.
like, "This is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever witnessed in my existence."
Oh, I still want to make
Jeremy?
an AD joke.
What?
Jeremy,
Uh-huh.
this is worse than my red wall, and you should be ashamed.
Wait, what?
This is worse than my red wall, and you should be ashamed.
Oh no, I was thinking of a show that did something like that.
Oh, I have no doubt. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, in this context, that's worse than my red wall, and
Oh
you should
no.
be ashamed.
No, a quick tangent where I got this. There's an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that does that, where two of the characters are in like, they're kind of stuck in their own minds in a machine. And so they both kind of see their evil selves running around. Their evil selves are kind of competing to kill them. And so when the two get ready to actually fight them, they run out and one of them just goes, "What the hell?" And it cuts over and the two of them are making out.
Noted. Well, meanwhile, Maguda, while she's having this conversation with Vanderdecken, oh, hi, Angel.
Yeah.
Well,
You thought
before
you're
that,
holding this in my evil.
Go ahead.
before
Yes.
that, it describes how Ben has to forcibly conjure these images into his mind because he's getting all the happy thoughts from Ned, and how as he goes in deeper, it becomes an unbidden thing as more and more of these images just rush into his head. And the way that Brian describes it, the images that he evokes in my mind, I can only assume that he's experienced what I have, of just when you lose control of your thought processes and it's just one thing right after another and you can't stop as you try to grasp at the straws of regaining control of your own mind. It can be a very unpleasant experience, even if the stuff you're thinking about isn't unpleasant to begin with, but more so if it is unpleasant stuff that you don't want to think about, and it's just like you can't stop because your mind won't let you.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically I mean, the closest thing I could think of was a slow wake up from a fever dream.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So yeah, as I said, the angel is like, hey, what are you doing? No, none of that. Boo on you, Maguda. And
Your soul is mine.
pretty much.
Yep. And so Maguda's like, "I see God."
Yep.
So
Forget
dead.
R.I.P. Forget rest in peace. More like suffer in conflict, Maguda Rezan.
Bye,
Yes.
Maguda. You died because you're dumb, like every member of your team so far.
And
then-
Ben's like, I won the staring contest!
I am the staring champion. And so then Ligren and, what was it, Grizzle or
Giselle.
Jesus? What a...
Giselle.
I'm just going to call her Grizzle. So
Okay.
Ligren and Grizzle run in, and they're like, "What the heck happened?" And so Ligren goes like, "Maguda's dead." And Grizzle's like, No. Hang on. I'm an expert here. I'm a doctor. I totally could tell if she's dead. Poke, poke, poke. Kick, kick, kick. Yeah, she's dead.
And Giselle also takes a pin from her hair and sticks it in Gouda's eye. Ew. Yep, she's dead. And it's like, well, so the matriarch we all hate is kind of dead. Huh.
Party time!
Yep. Time for, we'll bury her in,
Yep.
In Razan fashion. Shaggy toss off the mountain? No, we'll do better than that.
But what do we do about leadership?
We still have a dumb moment, though, because Ligren gets upset and hits a keg filled with gunpowder. Maybe don't do that, moron.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they have this question of, wait, Magud is dead. Now, who's going to lead the Razan? Oh, didn't you hear? Maguda said that the boy is now in charge, and then, we'll control the boy. Therefore, we'll be in charge. You heard Maguda say that, right?
At what point did they think this was going to work? Oh, God.
Jeremy, you said it yourself. I mean, how many dumb henchmen here do they have that would be fooled by that?
Every single one. They're all
taken, then.
They're all dumb. Well, no. Why did they think this would work? That Ben would actually become their leader? That's like the true stupid moment of like, we'll make him our leader. How? You gonna drug him again so he just sits there and drools? It's like, great Lord Ben, what is your command?
Anyway, so yes, there's like, well, let's go take Maguda off, and we'll worry about the details later.
Yeah.
Moral of the story: evil is bad.
Yeah, it's again. I've mentioned this on air before, but when you buy a book on Kindle, fans can underline significant sections that they like for one reason or another. And one of the few things that was actually highlighted in this book by the community was the ending line to chapter 25, quote, when Giselle, Legrin, and Routh missed was that their former leader had learned at the cost of her life. A surety that good will triumph over evil always. Okay. And according to Kindle, there are 11 highlighters.
I've seen trees with less sap than that.
It's a kid's book.
I know, but now you will learn that good will always lose. Evil will always triumph because good is dumb. Yeah. And so Ben gets led back to the jail cell, and Ned finally gets through to him that, he called him collect. And he's like, Ben, what's going on? Is everyone all right? And Ben's like, hang on, I'm freeing myself. Let me find out. Well, I found them. They're stoned. Dominic's like licking the wall. The snozberries taste like snozberries. And so Ben wakes them both up, and I love after he gets Dominic out of it, like he kicks him really hard in the shin, and Dominic's like, "The snake is biting my shin." No, I just kicked you really hard. That was good.
Yeah, I have to wonder how Asmodeus feels being cast in a bit role here.
Yeah.
I mean, a job is a job, but
yeah, it's like I went from one of the big bads to this. At least I don't end up like the snake in. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the book that I didn't like.
Doom White.
Doom White. Thank you. What happens to the snake in that one? That's the stuff nightmares are made of. So yeah, he wakes them up, and they're like, "How do you feel? Roaring headaches and dizziness? Yeah, drugs are bad. Okay, don't do drugs. Don't eat." And I love it where they almost drink the water again. Like, they literally almost drink the water again. Grace's like, "Oh, I have a headache. I should drink some water." And Ben's like, "Yeah, go for it. You'll be drooling on the floor again in 2 minutes." Like,
oh, I know. I get this image of Ben rolls up a newspaper. No.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart keeps grabbing the electrified cupcake. Ow! Ow! Ow!
And the Razan guards have noticed, hey, there's the big black dog that Maguda wanted for. I mean, do we need to capture it? I mean, Maguda's dead. Oh. Huh.
These guards then fall for the "oh my god, what is that behind you" gag.
And you know, it's funny. It's Arnella dressed up in a big cloak so they can't see who she is. And it's like, well, at least it was her and not 3 baby goats in a trench coat.
Muppet Man.
Can it be both?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure if you got the pun. Baby goats, aka kids. Or kids in a trench coat. Okay.
That sounds like a goat. My
Anyway,
laughter sounds
so
like a goat.
moving
Anyway.
on. So down in the tombs, Ben realizes they need to do something so that Ned can hear them, and it's quick, Cray, fill time. I mean, sing so they can hear you.
And yeah, we get a song.
Yep.
It's actually a pretty good song in the audiobook, too.
Yep.
And then the Death Brigade comes down of like, Baguda's dead. Oh well.
Yep, they give
Baguda's dead. Oh.
Hey. I kind of like where it's like, hey, why are we going to bother again? I know I made the joke, but I'm thinking here, like, why is no one like, hey, do we really care about burying her?
dump her in a pit.
Off the side of the mountain. I'm only saying that. I'm only saying that because Maguda is clearly was cruel to her underlings. So they're going to a lot of trouble for a pretty hated boss.
Oh, they're also really stupid, so maybe they think like she might get back up again.
She gets knocked down. She gets back up again.
Ain't nothing gonna keep her down.
Yep.
So
and there's Maguda's spirit now trapped on the Dutchman. Like, well, crap. I should have known better. So, what do you guys got to do on this boat?
We haunt people.
Oh,
That's
man.
all we do is haunt people. That's what we were doing yesterday. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow. That's all we do now. And so Arnella finally finds them in the jail cells, and I like her plan where they're like, there's a lock here. Maybe we could find a way to pick it. And she's like, no, I'll just hit it. I like that. When all else fails, break the thing.
Hey, isn't that loud hitting gonna call their guards? Oh no, they won't do it.
Yeah.
And then
I'm using my blunt object is the butt end of this gun, so I mean there's that, and
it can't possibly go off when I do that. Oh wait, hey, we need to free the bear too. Bang! Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. And apparently this is the thing. They're like, hey, that bear has been tortured by these people. Let's help it. I'm sure the bear is not, being a wild animal. It won't, it won't turn on us at any point.
Yep. And so, they rescue the bear. They run through the caves, and unlike Tony Stark, they don't have a suit of armor to get them through the caves. So they rip the giant like exit door off its hinges, and go sledding. Woo! I like literally cranked up some 2000s early like lame ass rock during this section.
Better yet, some like metal guitar surf music.
So yeah,
exactly.
Yep. And so they run away. They start sledding, and so for once the villains are like, "Wait, let's not shoot at them because it'll cause an avalanche." And so they start shooting arrows at them, and then Arnella shouts, "Quick, shoot at them! It'll cause an avalanche."
And you know what? It caused an avalanche. What do you know?
And just because I know Jeremy's going to get this, one of the henchmen turns around and says, "Quick, change the channel."
And so, we get it. All the villains die. The snow like goes through the caverns and smothers everything in it. So anyone who didn't come outside is dead. All the villains are gone. That's it. They're gone. That's it. We don't see them for the rest of the book. There's no like last minute thing where they show up or anything. So, all right.
I mean, that's convenient that the avalanche just kills the rest of them, and
Yep.
they built their house in an avalanche-prone region with
Yep.
no kind of plan to reinforce the entrances for just this event.
Yep. Well, they're pretty stupid, so.
This has been established.
Yep. I wonder maybe like somebody did recommend that, and Maguda just stared at him, and he's like, "All right, I'll go start robbing more people." And yeah, so then Ben wakes up and defies the laws of physics. He sits upwards and somehow hits the back of his head. How does that work?
I don't know.
So, anyway, then we get the amazing flying Ned because apparently he flew up into one of the trees and then drops down into Ben's arms.
Aw,
It's the
pupper.
funniest thing too. It's like, Ben, are you there, mate? It's me, Ned. I'm with Arnella, watching. Oh, no, sorry, no, I'm at the wrong section. Where is that?
I think I've joined the Angels, mate.
There you go. Yeah, try not to grieve too much. Ned, where are you? Right above your head, you great frosted lump. Look up. There we go.
And he just looks up and catches him. And I do like that. So Arnella finds them. It's like, look, I'll find the others. You guys go find the rest, what's left of my home, and get things, light a fire and make some food. And I like when they go inside and Ned goes, smells a bit goaty.
Well,
I like the term
duh.
goatee.
And then Dominic wanders in, and it's like, poor Dominic. He's like, yeah, frozen. I never thought I'd see a fire again.
Oh, God.
Somebody get him a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so they make some food, and then Dominic arrives, and then Arnella shows up with Corey and the bear. Saturdays at 8.
Yep.
And the bear was trying to
looks like-
protect her. The bear put himself completely over her to protect her from the falling debris and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like someone smarter than the average bear.
Ah!
Hey, boo boo. Hey, Corey, let's go get some picnic baskets. And so then
And the goats are rightly freaked out because there's a bear in their home.
it literally says the goats huddled in the entrance, fearing to enter lest the bear devour them. So then Dominic checks out the bear and notices something about between the collar, and Corey's like, "Don't worry, he won't bite you." And Dominic touches near the collar, and the bear's like, "Ah!" But then Dominic notices hang on a second, there's something strange. I think I found something. And then Corey flips out. It's like, "Don't hurt him or frighten him. I'll never speak to any of you again if you do." It's like, he found something important. He's not trying to hurt him. Calm down.
I can imagine there's just this moment of silence and everyone does a slow turn. Look to her what do you think we're doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
Is that
what
a
kind of
threat or
crazy
a
pills are
promise,
you
though?
on?
But I mean, if you
I'm
think
still
about
coming
it,
down.
I was gonna say, if you think about it, these are the first people that, considering what we know of her backstory, these are the first people that she has really trusted pretty much her entire life. So I think it might be a little logical for her to think, oh, they're gonna hurt him, they're gonna turn on me, because
Yeah, but Dominic already said he wasn't going to hurt the bear.
well, I mean, I don't know. She has trust issues, and we don't know much about her backstory, but she did
Yeah.
get captured by someone. So
I also have to ask: is her shouting of "I'll never speak to any of you again"— is that a threat or a promise?
aw.
Why not both?
Or both. So then they check, and he goes, "It's a man," and I was like, "It's Man Bear Pig." Either that or that's new bear. It's a man, baby.
Oh dear.
Yeah, apparently the Razan were getting off and putting a guy inside of a bear suit with a collar that had spikes that pointed inward for funsies.
Yeah, so
That's
this
disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Might.
guess Maguda was being serious about dressing Corey up like a bird to make her sing like a bird. So
Oh, yeah.
Maguda was into some weird stuff.
Yep. And curse the Razan, I hope they all suffocated horribly.
Oh, they're dead.
Yep.
They died pitiful, stupid deaths. And yeah, so they find a man in there underneath all the fur, and they find out it's like an actual bear skull that like head that they put over him.
Ugh.
And Ned's like, well, now I've seen everything. Like, no, I don't know about that, Ned. You
I don't know. There's one more book left. Oh yeah.
Yep.
You got plenty more ahead of you. Not to mention the second half of the first book took place after this, so.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
true.
They have to free Rock Ridge.
Yep.
So
Ned rode a blazing saddle.
yes.
So they then say, like, can you speak? And when he said Dharma, my immediate response was Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra?
Oh, that's obscure.
I
mean, I know the joke, but...
Huh?
I said Temba with his arms wide.
Maguda when the walls fell.
when the avalanche fell.
When the snow fell. And so, yeah, they find out it's Adamo or Adamo or whatever the heck his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it. And so, yeah, he's half man, half bear pig, and I'm super cereal. All right, that's my last South Park reference.
Thank you. Because remember, we're a Dibbin-friendly show.
Well, I'm not making any of the inappropriate references to it.
Just the weird ones.
Yep. And so Ben kind of realizes, like, oh, we've accomplished our mission. Oh, shoot. Like, what's going to happen next? And they kind of notice... Well, this is my favorite... I think my favorite Ned moment is Dominic's like, Ben, you look sad all of a sudden. So Ned tackles him and starts, like, licking him and goes, ha ha, oh, mournful, moping master. The clever Ned banishes all miseries. I'll soon lick a smile back on your face.
Yeah, you say that, but I was the one. I remember the one when you ate that weird mushroom and had diarrhea for a week.
Oh, God.
What, you've never had a pet do something like that?
Oh, I have.
No, I'm allergic to dogs. I can't have a pet.
Are you allergic to cats too?
Oh, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yep.
Now, here's the question. Are you allergic to goldfish?
Probably. Allergic to everything.
Go-
I did have, you know what? I did have a pet mouse when I was a kid.
Oh, Matthias.
Ralph.
What? Did he have a motorcycle?
Yeah, he did not, but that's where I got the name from.
Sweet, I love that.
I
book.
assume so.
So, yeah, our main crew are like, well, we got nothing better to do. Let's head back to town.
Yep. And back in town, I liked, it mentioned a magpie, and I was like, is General Ironbeak about to make an appearance too?
Like I said, you know, all these former Redwall book actors are now out of work. They'll take what they can get.
Magpie's like, no magic strawberries here. I'm safe. Yeah, so Comte Vicente is like, I'm sad now because I sent off those kids who totally were willing to go on their own off to their deaths. I saw nothing wrong with sending 3 unarmed children up against a bunch of psychotic murdering thieves.
Wait, why did you just call in the French army? And arguably,
that makes too much sense.
Arguably, because
how dare you bring logic into this?
Because these mountains border Spain, you could cause an international incident. Would be
so you send in James Bond instead.
James Bond. Oh. And so then Mathilde is like, I brought you some food and a glass of milk laced with brandy. What? Ew.
I have never tried that.
That sounds gross. And also, I have to ask, because I don't know if they really made it clear. Didn't they only leave like a few days ago? Like, he gave up pretty quickly.
I get the sense it's been at least a week or two. Some time has passed because they had to convalesce with Arnella before making the trip back. So if you figure it was at least 3 or 4 days out, 3 or 4 days back, and maybe a couple days with Arnella before making the journey, so it's been at least 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fair then.
Gosh, I hope I didn't get those kids I sent off to go stage a rescue into trouble.
Or the dog.
Yeah, him
And
too.
so, yep. Then, meanwhile, at the gates. Yeah. So this comes to my problem with this section of the book is like the last section was the latest part was really rushed. Like, oh, Maguta's dead. Oh, everyone's running around. Oh, they escaped. Oh, the rest of the Razin are dead. That's the end of that. Oh, we found Adamo and everything. So we had to rush through that. But now we can spend a page and a half where they can't pay the stupid entrance fees again. Really?
Well, I mean, it proves once again that red tape and bureaucracy will always be a thing if these guards are anything to go by.
This part just like did nothing for him. Like this just felt like a waste of time at this point. And then like, oh, how do they get through? Oh, look, it's the lady that Corey wove the bull poop story for. Yay! I'm glad we rushed everything with the villains, but have time for this.
Oh, and she got married to the farmer. That happened quickly.
That was yeah. So if it's been a couple weeks, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
You can't stand in front of true love.
Marriage.
Oh, and Matilda's like, oh, hi, you guys brought back, and oh, Adamo, huh? And she plays the part of like mom who sees her long lost child coming back and is very happy.
Yeah, it was sweet.
And then apparently they brought all the goats with them too.
Yep.
All right.
And Matilda's giving it all she's got.
No.
So anyway, they all start instead of immediately going to. I'm just gonna keep.
Yeah, because
I'm done with the goat puns too. So then this part bugged me because they're like, let's quick sit down and eat some food and chat. Meanwhile, Vicente is probably like crying himself to sleep or to death upstairs, wondering if he sent you all off to your death. And so
I don't want to give him a heart attack or anything. I mean,
yeah,
he is old after all.
Hey, my nephew's back.
he wouldn't be able to bear the surprise.
Oh no.
I said I was done with the goat puns, not the bear ones. And so, they sit down. They're like, no, we have to make sure that Adamo is presentable and everything, which I think they tried doing that in the goat cave, too. Maybe think of like the bat cave, goat man. So again, we spent more time with all this time with the guards and all that garbage. We get less than basically a page of Vicente being reunited with Adamo. We literally spent more time with the stupid bit outside the city than like the key moment that this section was building to.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no, I see that. I see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, that bugs me. And so, yep, they've reunited. And this time we do get a passing of time, which is 3 market fairs had come and gone. They said that's every month, right? Or something like that.
No, Matthias, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to bring it up.
Yeah. So,
I didn't want to interrupt.
So
Jeremy said,
Adamo
is Goat Man, kind of like Batman, Batcave. He goes, Matilda, how do you know that name?
Save Matilda! And then, then also, I'd like to point out Dominic basically disappeared for all of chapter 28. He didn't do anything.
He left his cardboard cutout behind while he went to go get a...
What do you think about that, Dominic? He's fainting. He's so shocked. Yeah. And so, yeah, we find out they've all been just kind of living with Vicente and like everyone's having a fun little time. And we get Ned bringing the funny once more, where Dominic is painting Arnella and one of the goats. And so then uh, he runs over and makes sure he poses. And Dominic's like, "Oh, that's perfect. Well done." And Ned goes, "Why do you think I sat here? Anyone with half an eye could see the picture was off balance. Note the way I present a noble profile in just the right light. If only someone would let me paint. I'd dash off a
Yeah.
few masterpieces with my tail. Hidden depths of talent, you know, quite common among us Labradors."
Ned doing as Ned does.
Yes.
Indeed.
Ned's the best.
And so our old authority figure, sorry, how do you say his title again?
Comte? I found out it actually means count.
The
Yeah.
Count,
Oh.
then.
So
Yeah.
Count Dracula comes down and tells them.
Good
Like-
evening.
So thank you for returning my nephew, and I'm totally gonna adopt you people, cause I'm lonely.
Yep.
Aw.
And they eat delicious sounding mushroom soup.
And this is part of the angels thing. Was when you find a guy with no kids who wants to make him your sons, you got to leave. We'll get to that in a second. But it's also he's like, so Adamo, I know you've had incredible mental damage and are going to need years of therapy to recover
He
from
can
being
barely
turned
talk.
into a bear suit. But I'm going to make you the lord of the local town. Here you go.
Here's a ring. It's like, it makes sense by birthright that he will eventually, but he literally knows nothing about what that means. But I'm sure he'll be a great leader.
And Adamo, again, as it mentioned, he has years of mental damage, and but he immediately turns to Corey and it's like, "Hey, want to get married?" And she's like, "Okay."
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, at this point, I was just like, oh, yeah, of course, he'll marry Cray. They've spent maybe 3 pages together, and we've seen nothing of their we looked at each other and are nothing alike and know nothing about each other relationship. The only thing we know is they even each other out, where Adamo barely talks and she never knows how to shut up. Oh, wait, never mind. She's speechless for the first time.
I mean, I hate to point out, but Disney courtships have more time.
Like,
Well,
again, we spent a
defend this.
page and a half with them outside the stupid gate. We could have used that time, like that section of the book, to see more of these two, like their relationship. Like, on the one hand, I see it as Adamo. I can see why he cares about her, because she wanted to save him from certain death and being a bear. So it's like, I get that part of it. But it's like, I just, all right, whatever. We never see these characters again anyway, because they're not mentioned for the rest of the book. Like, we literally never see them for the rest of the chapter after this, so whatever.
But there's a very important point here. It's been 3 market fairs as of this scene since they returned. And back in those times, this would have been like a monthly affair. So you can assume it's been about 3 months, which is a reasonable time to actually kind of form a relationship and get to know each other.
This is true. I would have actually liked to have seen that, though.
Granted.
I don't care if they get married or all, because again, we never see these characters for the rest of the book at this point. But it's just like, I think I'm more annoyed with the fact that more time was wasted on other things than actually showing any bit of this relationship or other important character moments. Like, I like Arnella as a character. We didn't need to know her entire backstory. We could have spent that time doing other more important things.
See, I liked her backstory. I wouldn't want to take it out. I could take out the payment thing though, like the confrontation with the guards. That could go, but I liked Arnella's backstory.
Yeah,
I'll agree with Katie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna third Katie's opinion.
Woo! I win.
Okay, then you can't complain that they didn't spend any time on this, because that was literal waste of time. Like I said, I like her character. Her backstory was neat. It literally has no purpose in the story whatsoever, outside of using up time. That could have been used for the characters that are actually our main characters.
Back to the point. So before the Count can adopt Ben and Ned, they exit stage right.
Run away.
Yeah.
Run
Ben
away.
awkwardly leaves, which I think would have been funnier if Ben just jumped up and said, "I gotta pee," and runs out.
So yeah, they basically head back to where they came on land. Were from the Le Petite Marie. And it's like, well, now what's gonna happen? Oh, hi, random guy in a boat.
Yeah. We get a title drop. Remember the second part of the Angel's Command? Roll credits.
And yeah, the fishermen's they meet this random fisherman who feeds them fish or fried fish, and that sounds freaking awesome. And it's like, well, and he is apparently a priest. Cool. And oh, you should have met my brother. We both left home, and I became a priest, and he sought his fortune at sea.
Super Coincidence Theater returns.
And it was my brother was Raphael Thuron.
Yep.
And then you could probably picture your mind Ben and Ned kind of turning to look at each other, like
Here we go again.
It's like, well, I got good and bad news here. Okay, what's the good news? Your brother was an awesome captain, and we served underneath him. And the bad news?
He did.
He went down with his ship. Oh.
Yep. That's bad. But we have his treasure. That's good.
Not yet. They don't. The last thing they do is say, like, "Hey, can we borrow your boat?" Okay. And one of the angel's commands is like, "Hey, go look in that place." And
it's like
I'm not being poetic.
like the glowing in the ocean.
Yeah, it's basically the Wind Waker.
It's a literal Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes it is. And so yeah, they pull it out and you found Raphael Thuron's treasure. This will help out his priest brother. Yay!
And they're like, "Hey, here's your brother's treasure. Here you go.
Yep.
Don't you want any of this? No, we're good.
No,
you don't have travel
wants
expenses.
us to be poor and hungry.
You don't have travel expenses. No, we're fine.
Yep. You don't ever need food, right? No, we'll starve.
And
Ned's like, the heck we won't.
Yeah. And I do like whether he intended for this to be the treasure's purpose or not. I like how Raphael's treasure will help his brother. I think that's a perfect way for that story to end.
And his brother, the priest, is just like, well, I'm going to take all this treasure. I'm going to build a better church for my parish, and I'm going to call it St. Raphael's.
Yep.
Okay,
St. Raphael's is a better name than St. Ninian's.
I was just going to say that.
Well, I was going to call it St. Ninian's, but it's, trademarked. So.
Well, technically,
also, I'm pretty sure if you called it St. Ninian's, then it'd be cursed.
Yeah.
Well, no, you'd have to name it Tis Ain't Ninians and then wait for it to erode until we eventually said St. Ninians.
So, well, thank you for the gold, boys. You have my rowboat, and I'm sure you know on the ocean because that's a thing.
Just fine.
Yeah.
Then we actually have an epilogue.
Just like a page, but yeah, and we find out that there's a painting that's hung up in Vicente's home that is it is the cover art for the first book, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I think that was a neat touch, and I didn't realize that until this time reading through this.
And that's the Angel's Command. And you know what? As funny as it was to make Blazing Saddles jokes last time, truth be told, I think I like the story better here. I had a better grasp of the mysteries because, my academic background in the first book, but I generally didn't know where this story was going to go here. My only complaint is the villain died way too fast, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And as we previously mentioned, there are character moments we really should have had, but didn't. Mm-hmm. Other than that, this was a genuinely good read.
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed this one. I like the first half better, though.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I liked its swashbuckling adventure on the seas. I kind of like that cast of characters more. Like, I was more interested in Raphael's story, and I loved the bits with the Anaconda and Pierre, and just like how that ship went, and it was also nice to see like there was buildup for the villains in that one, and it was more satisfying seeing the end of those villains than it was with Maguda. Um, with the heroes in this section, like I feel like Dominic was underdeveloped. Again, we could have spent more time building up an actual character for him. Like his standing up to Maguda and the stare down, it was like this kind of cool big moment, but it didn't feel earned, if that makes sense. Like we didn't have him kind of like building up as like we knew his little talent of being able to kind of see within people and all that, but it didn't feel earned that he was the one to have the big moment of staring her down and defeating her or whatever temporarily. And by the end, Corey was just kind of getting on my nerves. Like she was fine, but eventually it was just like, shut up for 5 seconds. You're being annoying and you're causing problems for the other heroes. And I liked like I said, I liked Arnello. Again, I don't think her backstory was needed because it had no impact on the rest of the plot whatsoever, and we could have spent that time, or just make the book a little bit longer and spend more time with the other characters. And the second half also, I mentioned it a few times, it felt rushed, and like we have said multiple times, they could have spent more time with the characters, or they also could have spent more time telling us what was Maguda's big plan or goal besides I'm evil.
And just to bring Ben underneath her power, but she doesn't say what she's going to do with that.
Yeah, it's just she just wants to see the evil within him, which it's like, all right, and then she sees the angel and dies. So it's like, all right, whatever. You built this villain up for literally nothing. And chapter 30, let's be honest, chapter 30 kind of ignores the second half of the story. Like you could have actually inserted chapter 30 immediately after the first half and it would have worked exactly the same. And I like stuff in the second half of the book, and I liked the sledding sequence and stuff, and there was some fun moments, but the second half felt like there was a lot of time wasting when the time wasting wasn't needed. And like the first half felt better paced, and I kind of would have liked just an extended version, like maybe split this up into 2 books, like spend more time with both halves. So the second half we could have gotten more time with those characters, and the first half we could have seen a little bit more and gotten maybe a little bit more of, I can't remember his actual name, so I'm just going to call him Captain Falcon again. The guy that ends up shooting down Raphael's ship. I would have liked to see a bit more of him because I liked what little we did see of him. So I definitely would read this one again, but I definitely would want to reread the first half a lot more than the second half.
Katie or Matthias?
I was waiting for Matthias, but I'll go. That's what happens when you try to out-polite each other. Dead silence. Crickets. But yeah, no, I liked this book. Like, as I said last time, I read the intended chapters, and then I went ahead and just finished the book because I liked it. It was addictive. I just, Redwall will always be, like, I think I've said this before. I love the Redwall series. This one doesn't really compare to that in my mind. I liked it. It was nice. I'm not going to like reread this every couple of years like I do all the Redwall books. But I liked it. I love the backstory for a cool female character. So I don't know. I really liked that. I think we could have gotten more with Dominic and Corey and Adamo. I think we could have gotten more of their, like, you know, just what they were like and more depth to their characters. I do agree with that. And like the relationships that developed. Like it said they were kind of like siblings, and I was like, okay, I don't know if it goes that far in my head. I could see them as friends and they went through a lot together, but siblings? Sure, why not? You know, so I don't know. But yeah, I did like Maguda. I do agree that her death and the whole like avalanche, destroy the Razan, that was a little rushed. But I don't know. I like the sledding thing. That sounds super fun and kind of dangerous and something I might have been into when I was a kid.
Well, I've said multiple times, this is my favorite of the 3 Castaways books. And yeah, I agree there are some issues with it. It feels like there are parts of the second half that are a little rushed. Yeah, we probably could have had a little bit more character development. But at the same time, I tend to disagree that it's not as good as the first half. The first half was great. There was a lot of like detail in it, but that's because there were so few characters in each sub-story that you had to concentrate on. Here, it's like, yeah, the primary people that we're looking at are, 3 kids, a dog, a goat herder, and then the main bad guy. But the main bad guy then had all these other people underneath her. That it's just like, they all seem to have stories of their own. Maybe I was just reading into it a little bit too much, or recalling stuff that I remembered thinking about when I first read this back when I was a kid. But it's like, I had this theory about whether or not Arnella was like a distant relative of the Burgon family because of her massive size and strength. I mean, Adamo himself is described as being just a little bit taller than Arnella, but definitely wider in the shoulders. And it's like, they're almost the same size. Is there some relation there? Maybe the clues that Brian wrote in were just a little bit too subtle, but I felt that there was a good amount there that you could actually work with if you stopped and looked at it. So, yeah, it might not be one that I come back and read like super frequently, but whenever I do read it, it's very satisfying. Kind of like going and eating a home-cooked meal, from, I don't know, Cracker Barrel or something, where it's like the food's massively unhealthy, but you don't go away from that meal either hungry or unsatisfied.
Fair enough. So, that's going to end our belated Halloween special. Of course, yeah, we started in October. We didn't end in October. And as listeners always know, we tend to kind of quiet out the rest of the year, mostly because it's hard enough to get everybody scheduled for these episodes this time of year. And I prefer to let people have holidays, but that doesn't mean you're not getting content. Now, if memory serves, we, for a long time, I have basically dodged every food episode by making things out of the Game of Thrones cookbook. I can say that that's no longer the case. I actually own the Redwall cookbook.
Ta-da!
Yay!
So, part of the food episode this year will be the story to come with it. However, I think we had planned on doing the first section of the video game.
Oh, I forgot
right?
about that. I forgot about that.
I mean, we can put that off yet.
Yep. I do have it. I just haven't. I still haven't played it yet.
I can't. My laptop's in the shop.
So, you know what? If that's the case, let's go. We can put this off just a little. What if I know one of the other things I did want to do is, since we are heading into winter, what about A Winter's Tale, the picture book?
I don't own that one.
Well, you can get a copy.
You can try at your local library. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Oh, nice.
Gee, Matthias, can you try being more subtle about that?
What? That was subtle.
Noted. All right.
Oh,
So yeah, let's do A Winter's Tale. We'll push off the video game for next year.
Jeez, the paperback is $40. What the heck?
Really? I spent like 12 on Amazon.
It says paperback from $40. That's insane. What
We'll
the
talk options off. We'll talk
there's
options
no-
off. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a new copy. Like they're out of new ones, so maybe that's why. But I guess it's out of print or something. Jeez, the hardcover is $9, but that also requires me to purchase a hardcover copy.
Is that a bad thing?
Huh?
Is that a bad thing?
They're I don't like reading hardcover books just because they're so big and awkward. I don't know.
We'll talk about options off air. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I will make my opinions known on children's books. You will listen.
That being said, you can find us at recorderonthewall.com. Our primary Twitter is at ROTWPOD. Our primary contact email is rotwpod@gmail.com. I am not nearly active as enough. I should be on the Redwall forums, as is Matthias. We are also on the Redwall subreddit, r/Eulalia. And we always like fan reviews, and I'm going to go ahead and call up iTunes while I'm at it.
Yep, and then you can find us on Apple, Google Play Podcasts, and Spotify as well.
Mm-hmm.
And filling time while
Now,
Pete looks
as I
for
understand,
reviews.
the final book in this series is a bit more dark, or deals with subject matter that is.
I don't think it's intentionally dark. It's just real problematic.
I barely remember. I remember I didn't like how the book ended because getting back to abrupt endings, but I would have to go back and look at it. I honestly don't remember large portions of the book. Kind of like with this one, I didn't remember. I remembered the second half of this book being the first half of the third book.
Oh, nice.
So I really don't remember the third one very well.
And the iTunes store is not loading. Give me a second.
Well, I mean, the book is titled Voyage of Slaves.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks.
So angry. I just left that book feeling sad and angry. So.
Okay. We'll deal with it when we get to it.
Yep.
That being said, because the iTunes store seems to be not working for me, I can't tell you what reviews we have. We're still at 15 ratings at 5 stars, so yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We are perfect.
Even if apparently the Facebook Redwall group doesn't like us.
But we don't care about their opinion, so who cares?
Nope.
Because they're Facebook.
They're on
and
Facebook, so their opinion
matters.
doesn't matter.
It
Wow.
matters.
You got a
about as
problem with
much-
it? Bring it on. I don't care.
It matters as much as Red Jack Teal's caring about the name of his cook who died.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know their name, and Red Jack and Captain Prissy didn't know the name of his cook. Anyway, so next time we'll cover something or other.
We will cover Redwall: A Winter's Tale.
Fun
See you later.
times.
See you later, folks.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.